Hey guys, what's going on? BMcG here, and today we have my fourth rank 5 6-star, and that is HULKLING, the king of space. This guy is an absolute blast to play. He's nuts. He's an amazing attacker as well as an amazing defender. He scares a lot of people. He's been getting banned a lot in Battlegrounds when I play, just because he's hard to deal with if you don't have a counter. But he's wild. So this whole video is just going to be me trying to show him in questing scenarios outside of like 3 war fights and 1 Battlegrounds fight. And I like running him as a Norseman. I like giving him all the extra buffs. It gives him extra damage. Not like he needs it, because he's super strong on his own, but it's fun to run like a juiced up HULKLING through all of 8.2 and just have an absolute blast. So yeah, that's over 100,000 damage on the special 2 when all hits don't crit, which is just super strong. And then when you crit, it's a lot of damage. So he is really good. He has a lot of utility, and he's super flexible with the way you play him. He's definitely my favorite Cosmic to use in the game currently. He's just super strong, and he's super fast in Battlegrounds, super safe in war. Just an awesome champ. So that's him with a full team, just to show how kind of crazy he gets. And then next up, we're going against Venom the Duck in 6.4.1, I believe it is, to kind of simulate a Battlegrounds matchup. So this Venom the Duck here has like 190,000 health, which is about average for the defenders you would be seeing in Battlegrounds. It really depends on who you're ranked against. Like if you're a Thronebreaker player, you're gonna go against smaller health pools, but your attackers will be smaller as well. So this is pretty proportionate to what you'd see in Battlegrounds, is what I'm trying to get at here. But the whole strategy here I just did was I got to my special 2 before he even got to his special 1. He had no chance to throw it until after my special 2. So it's just a really strong, little trick there that you can use when playing HULKLING. But next up, we have 3 war fights, and these are from, I can't remember if it's the last fight of this. It is the last war of the season, and I just wanted to break out my rank 5 HULKLING and have some fun. He's a really solid counter to Scorpion, believe it or not, because Scorpion's default sting debuff is poison, and HULKLING is poison immune. So right there, I did the little trick to make sure he wouldn't get his special 1 before I got to my special 2. It worked beautifully, and I go in with a double medium, and he's done. So 20-second fight, a lot of fun. Next up, we have Penny on node 23. She's an absolute menace on this node. I usually prefer to send Gallon here, but it can get pretty sketchy. So my whole thought here was just to try to nuke with HULKLING, and you guys will see it's pretty close. So we go in. I trigger unblockable semi-early, and I'm like, you know what, we'll drop the special 2. She drops her special 2. I'm at 10 on my bubble shield, and I got super lucky. But the special 2 closes it out, and we're good. So, I knew the amount of hits that I was allowed. So if I dex the first part and the last part of her special 2, I could block all those hits. So I knew with those parries that I was doing in the beginning, I was fine. But yeah, it was a little risky. Next up, we have EMP mod Shuri, and this is just like a cakewalk for HULKLING. The placebo buffs actually give him extra damage, so it's really nice to see. And then right here I screw up because she can block unblockable special attacks, so what I should have done was back up and then trigger my unblockable mid combo. That way I will break her block and then drop my special 2. She won't be able to block it if I'm already, striking her with basic attacks. But it was the last fight of the war with HULKLING there, so really not that big of a deal. Next up, we have a Kitty Pryde in Battlegrounds. And, Kitty, ideally you want to counter, right? But, like, HULKLING's crit rate isn't very high, but he has white numbers that hit very hard. So he's generally safe for her. Like, you guys can see her prowess count is just not that high. So right here, I can just go in after she dashes back. Then I do a little combo into her block, drop that special 2, and she's just gone in one special 2. Like, that's how most Battlegrounds fights go with my rank 5 HULKLING. It's just nuts. So I know why he gets banned so much, but Next up, we're going into 8.2. I believe this is the invade lane. So, and heavy assault, life transfer, transducer. Yeah, so this lane was kind of fun because you deal more damage when hitting into their block. And if you make mistakes like I have been doing in this in this fight, you can just heal back with life transfer. So when you strike the opponent, you'll just gain a bunch of health. You guys will see once I land a hit, after getting hit so many times that, you know, a couple combos and I'm back to full. So there's really not much, like, this lane's really straightforward. But what I'm trying to do here is line up my special 2 with I think 3 hits left on my unblockable charge, and I have to have 3 or more shapeshift charges when I launch my special 2. So when I, you know, throw the special 2 into his block, each one gains a pierce, and then the last hit will be unblockable, and then I'll gain the 2 fury buffs that way. So it's a good way to try to make use of the invade node and deal extra damage. But you know, I kind of messed it up this first time around and got to my special 3, which I didn't want to do. But right there, you know, it's not exactly how I wanted to do it. So right here, we're going to get him to block, hit his block twice, drop the special 2, last hit's unblockable, and that's a fun way to take advantage of somebody who, you know, takes more damage from blocked hits. So, fun fight there, and we just finished the fight out here with this unblockable special 2, and he's pretty much done. So, solid fight there. I think we have a couple more on this lane. Yeah, so we've got Beast, who is next on this lane. HULKLING's a really good counter for this. There's other good champs for invade, but I believe, I can't remember the boss off the top of my head in this quest, but I'm pretty sure HULKLING works for them. Otherwise, I wouldn't be running a full HULKLING team. I tried to only run full HULKLING teams in quests where it made sense, but yeah, so the invade was dealing some decent damage there on that special 2, and that's pretty much the rotation you want to go with on this. So we've got 2 unblockable charges, so we just need to go in there and yeah, see, that was a nice little way to trigger my unblockable. There's some cool tricks you can use when playing HULKLING, but like he's nowhere near like Spidey Supreme to where you need to like completely master the champ to be like proficient with him. HULKLING has just so many ways to deal damage, and like you don't have to be a super skilled player to access those means of damage. So that's one of my favorite designs about HULKLING, is that he's just super simple but also super effective. It's a lot of fun. He's probably my most I don't know the proper term I'm looking for to describe this, like overseer if I take him to rank 5, or when I take him to rank 5 or 7-star to rank 2. Like, he's got nice red numbers, he's not super overpowered, he's just like super strong. Spidey Supreme has a lot of nuance to him. Future Ant-Man's got a lot of nuance to him in terms of power control. He's also just really strong in terms of damage. Like, HULKLING's just like my brute, if that makes sense. Like, he's my brawler. He does a lot of damage. He doesn't care. He just mows through whatever he's going up against. Like, that's kind of where I put HULKLING at in my roster, and he's like my only champ who's like that. I'm just gonna brute this fight down. Next up, we have Jubilee here. These are some weapon nodes, and essentially with this weapon combo, you gain some power back that you spent on your special attacks based on the amount of buffs that you have. So it's pretty decent for HULKLING because it allows you to cycle special 2s faster. But yeah, this Jubilee here, you guys will see, she's like super annoying for some reason. Like, I can't dex a special 1 for some reason. Like, she launches it when I'm too far away, and like I thought that would be a dex the first hit, and it just wasn't. So now I'm just trying to get her to throw her special 1, and like none of those were a dex either. So I'm trying to get her to throw it again, and that was a dex, but it didn't trigger the node for some reason. I think it had to be the last part. I'm not sure. And then we're in the corner now, so we're kind of screwed. But we're gonna go red again because she hits us, and yeah. So I just go in there, I dex a special 1 or special 2 there, and now I finally get the the weapon node away from her, And now I just need to capture it, which I think I did with the heavy attack knockdown. And we'll be pretty good to finish her out once we, you know, can get to our special 2. So we just do a full combo here, dash back, she keeps holding block, and then you drop the special 2, deal some solid damage, bait the special 2 out of her, and we gained a bunch of power back from the node because we have the weapon node on ourselves. Right there, I just played like an idiot, just trying to play aggressive for no reason. But right there, we throw the special 2 into her block. I know I'm going to keep gaining shapeshift charges during my special 2, so I have nothing to really worry about in terms of getting the Fury buff or unblockable. And there we go, Jubilee down. It's a pretty common theme in this video to where, like, the first fight on each path, there's always some super annoying champ, and then the rest of the path goes fine. It's funny how it goes, but yeah. So next up we've got Ronin. We evaded that special 1, so we got the weapon node on cooldown, and then we knocked him down with our heavy attack, and that got us the weapon node for ourselves. Drop an unblockable special 2, and we gain a bunch of power back. He's really solid for this lane. It's actually quite fun. When there's stuff like power reserve, or if you gain power for each buff that you have on yourself, or when you gain power when you gain a buff, like, he's just super good for all kinds of power gain stuff because it just allows him to cycle special 2s a lot faster. Not that he needs it, like, he's fine in vanilla scenarios like I showed earlier, but he's just super strong when you can keep dropping these special 2s in quick succession. So that was Ronin. Next up, we are going up against Doc Ock on one of the nodes I was just trying to talk about in this previous clip. We've got a node, I can't remember what the node's called. Stacking power is what it is, and when you gain a buff you will gain power. So essentially, like, the rotation here is just like 5 hits into the block to go unblockable, and then you drop your special 2 while you're unblockable, and then you repeat the process. It's really funny how, you know, strong this is. Like, you know, we wait for him to throw special 1, punish with double medium, then we just do combo into his block, drop the special 2, repeat the cycle. His power lock is doing nothing to us. It's actually giving us extra shapeshift charges. So every time we try to gain power, he is, you know, giving us a shapeshift charge essentially, because we're immune to, like, the power lock itself. So really strong stuff here. And then we just drop another unblockable special 2, and he is pretty much done after this next medium attack. So really fun fight. I love when there's stuff like that and Hulkling just shines. But next up we have this Penny boss in 8.2.5. She's got Foresight. What are the other nodes? Backboard, Brawler, Pumping Iron, Mighty Charge. So she's really not that hard to fight if you have a counter like Gallon or Hulkling, because it's just like a normal Penny with, like, Foresight and Mighty Charge. Like, that's the only 2 nodes. I feel like they're afraid to give us, like, really strong nodes on Penny Parker because she is such a strong defender already that, like, she does not need the, you know, defensive buff from nodes. Like, she could be a wall for some players if they don't have a proper counter to her. So I totally get why they are a bit more reserved on you know, the nodes that she gets. But we drop the special 2 here while we're fully unblockable, and her shield is back up, so now we just need to bait a auto block, and, you know, 1 hit takes down the whole shield. And, you know, now we're just doing some combos. Drop the special 2 while unblockable. We don't really need the Fury passive from Foresight. It would be nice to have, but it's really not a necessity. I keep trying to go for it, but it's like, he does so much damage already. Like, come on. That was like a 23k medium with the 2 Fury buffs from the special 2 itself. He really doesn't need the special, or the Fury passive from Foresight. And I just kind of realized it here. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna full send it. Special 2 on the block. Don't want to really eat that one because that'll deal a lot of damage, and it's just not a lot of fun. So yeah, that was that Penny fight. Pretty cool. And then lastly, we're finishing with a fun fight where his attack rating is modified significantly by the nodes. We're giving him the full Odin team just to have some fun. And I believe these are like some of the Throne Breaker event quest nodes on this fight. There's Arrogance, Celestial Vision. I remember seeing that combo in, event quest. Essentially every 10 hits I will gain like a falter passive, and then each buff on me gives me a chance to gain the vigilance buff. And then whenever a cosmic attacker prevents a miss from abilities, you gain a fury passive. So you see here when I do my combo, that's 5 fury passives that I gain, and now my damage it's just gonna be really strong. So we just do a special 2 here, and that's 40k damage per hit essentially. So yeah, that's a really strong special 2, and then 33k medium, and then going in here 36k medium. Just gonna hit his block a couple times to finish him out. So yeah, that was a really strong fight. And then lastly, we have the Iceman on the next fight in that lane. A lot of these lanes, Hulkling can take most of the fights on his own, if not all of them. I just didn't want to cram all those fights into this video because, it would be like a 30-minute video, 40-minute video of like the same thing over and over when I'm just showing you guys, just some use cases where he's fun. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. I loved recording all my footage for all my rank 5s actually. Hulkling was a lot of fun because he's such a strong champ. And, his addition means a lot to, a lot of the members in the community. So I'm glad he's in the game. I'm glad Waken's in the game. And yeah, so if you guys enjoyed, hit like, sub if you're new. If you already subbed, I love you. See you guys for the next video or stream. Peace out.